Hi everyone, this is Orlando again from About That. I want to continue what we were talking about last week on faith and how your thoughts attract what's going on around you. A lot of people don't want to understand that. A lot of people don't want to believe that. A lot of people don't want to accept that. But that is exactly what's going on in your life. So, for example, last week we talked about feeling the urge to quit, feeling the need to just give this up because this seems too hard, too difficult, too much to deal with. And so you were in that crossroads. And I'm going to take the view that you messed up, you went back, you let everything drop, and you're in the point right now where you're not sure that you even want to continue this at all. Let me tell you, don't give up. Let me tell you what's going on, okay? Just like I said before, what you focus on in your mind is what you will bring into your life. For example, Proverbs chapter 10, verse 24, it says, "The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desires of the righteous shall be granted." And that's what a lot of you are going through, and it's difficult. I know. If you focus your thoughts on God and His goodness, you will bring those good things into your life. But if you focus on poverty, insecurity, not being good enough, being too ugly, being rejected, hated, then you will attract that type of rejection in your life. And that is what's difficult to believe. That's why a lot of people are finding it difficult to believe, well, that's not what I want in my life. How is it possible that that's what I'm attracting? That's exactly what is going on. You're attracting these things in your life. But please know that that is not where God wants you to be. God wants you to be in a whole different place. If you have your faith based on Him and on His Word, you're going to see the change in your life. I'll give you another example. In Psalms chapter 16, verse 11, it says, "You will show me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." And these are the things that you need to focus on, because He is showing you the path of life, and He's going to show you everything that brings joy into your life and every pleasure that you can imagine that fulfills your heart and your soul. He can provide that for you. Now, what you have in your life right now is what you've attracted in your life from what you've been thinking. And a lot of these thoughts come from being mistreated when you were younger, from family members even, parents, or other family members, from people in school, from people at work, from different places. I know that that's a hard pill to swallow and to admit to, but those are the facts. So what's happening when you're going through life and you're experiencing all these things is because you're focusing in on these things. And you're focusing in on these things is causing these things to, of course, attract more of the same in your life. And that's what's going on. So what happens when you fail? First of all, let me explain to you, it's not over. It's only a temporary setback that you can overcome. But if you decide to quit, then everything is going to go back to the same anger, the same hate, the same life that you had before. And that's exactly what you don't want. So why would you want to go back to that when you can change everything back around to your good? You can still make that change. You can still make that happen. And this week should have been a great example, because if you did fail and if you did quit there for a little while, then you know that everything did go back. You know that you were feeling miserable. You know the guilt was killing you. You know that you're going through all of these things, and you want to remove that guilt. You want to remove that shame. You want to remove all that hate, all that rejection. You want all of that from your life. You want to get rid of that feeling of poverty. You want to get rid of all of these feelings of insecurity in your life. And this is how you're going to be able to accomplish that. I'm going to help you work through this. But I want you to understand, all right, if you go back and you allow these things into your life, this is what's going to happen, all right? Proverbs chapter 13, verse 12 describes it the best when it says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick. And that's exactly what you're going to go through. You're going to make your heart sick if you go back to the same old life that you had before. But check out what it continues to say. But when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. And that's what you're going to need in your life. That's what can happen in your life if you continue to soldier on, if you continue to fight the good fight. So this is what we're going to do, all right? How do you fix this? Romans chapter 12, verse 2. It states it like this. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove that which is good and acceptable and the perfect will of God. That's what you want in your life, all right? You want to change the way that you think, the way that you process your thoughts, the way that you work things out in your life, rather than getting angry and letting go and letting yourself get into the fits of anger, letting yourself go into all of that yuckiness and all of those feelings of insecurity and all of that. Change the way that you think. Change the way that you process these things in your mind. Because doing that is what's going to change everything for you. So yeah, by all means, you failed, come to God, let him know that you failed, but let him know that you want to change your life, and then you're going to start again and start changing the way that you think. You want to start changing the way that you think. So ask him to remove, that you reject these thoughts in your mind, and I've explained this before. Reject those thoughts in your mind and tell God that you want him to renew the way that you think, and he will continue to do that. And I'm going to provide, like I've always said, I'll be providing verses on Facebook and Instagram, but don't just stick to my verses. Add to that. Find some more that can help you work these things out. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21, it says, test all things and hold fast to what is good. So make sure that you're doing exactly that, and don't go back to the same old way. Don't go back to that same old hate. Don't go back to that same old rejection. Don't go back to that same rejecting yourself, because that's what everybody else is doing, is rejecting you. Change that around. Start accepting yourself. Know that you are loved by God and that you are loved by everyone in the family of God. Know that you were chosen especially and specifically because of who you are. And everybody else that's saying differently, they are wrong. So God bless you. Look for my verses on Instagram and on YouTube, and I'll see you next week.